I want to say something that might sound a little crazy. For a long time, weed felt like a completely normal part of my life. It started casually, just something to relax with, something to do when I was bored, something that made everything feel a little easier after a long day. At first, it didn't feel like a problem at all. In fact, I convinced myself it was actually helping me. I told myself it made me more creative, that it helped me chill out, that it took the stress away and made life more enjoyable. And honestly, that's how a lot of habits start. They feel harmless in the beginning. But over time, I started noticing small changes that I ignored for a while. It wasn't ruining my life overnight, and that's exactly why it was hard to notice. But slowly, it started making me more comfortable doing nothing. Days would pass where I felt less motivated, less focused, and honestly, a little disconnected from the goals I used to care about. I'd sit there thinking about the things I wanted to do with my life, the things I said I was going to build or improve, but I kept pushing them to tomorrow, and tomorrow kept turning into next week, and next week kept turning into I'll start soon. The scary part about habits like that is that when something becomes part of your routine, you stop questioning it. You stop asking yourself if it's actually helping you or hurting you. You just keep doing it because it feels normal. I tell myself I could stop anytime I wanted, but the truth is I never really tested that. And if you're watching this right now, there's a good chance you might relate to that feeling too. Maybe you don't think it's a big deal. Maybe it just feels like something normal that everyone does. But deep down, you might have those moments where you wonder if it's quietly holding you back more than it's helping you. The moment that really hit me was when I realized weed wasn't actually solving my stress or boredom. It was just helping me ignore it. Instead of building the life I wanted, I was getting comfortable escaping from the work it would take to build it. Whenever I felt overwhelmed, I'd smoke, and suddenly the pressure didn't feel as real anymore. But the problem is, the pressure didn't disappear. It was just waiting for me the next day. And once I started seeing that pattern, I couldn't unsee it. I started thinking about what would happen if I kept living like that for years. What if 5 years passed and I was still stuck in the same routines, still saying, I'll start tomorrow? That thought honestly scared me more than quitting ever could. So I decided to try something simple. Nothing dramatic, nothing extreme. I just told myself I'd stop for a while and see what actually happened. At first, my brain tried to convince me it wasn't necessary. It kept telling me I needed it to relax, to sleep better, or to enjoy things more. The first few days were honestly the hardest part. My mind kept going back to the habit because it had become automatic. But once I pushed through that first week, something surprising started to happen. My mind started to feel clearer. I woke up with more energy. My thoughts felt sharper. The things I used to procrastinate on didn't feel as heavy anymore. It wasn't some magical overnight transformation where suddenly everything in my life became perfect. But little by little, I started noticing changes. I had more time because I wasn't zoning out for hours. I had more focus because my brain wasn't constantly foggy. And the motivation I thought I had lost actually started coming back. That's when I realized something important. A lot of the motivation we think we're missing is actually buried under habits that keep us comfortable. Quitting weed didn't magically solve every problem in my life, but it gave me something way more valuable: clarity and control. Instead of escaping stress, I started facing it and solving it. Instead of killing time, I started being more intentional with it. And the biggest lesson I learned from that experience is that quitting something isn't just about removing a habit. It's about creating space for a better version of yourself to grow. Sometimes the things we think are helping us relax or cope are actually the things quietly slowing us down. If you've ever had that feeling that weed might be holding you back, I'm not here to tell you that you need to quit forever or make some huge life change overnight. But what I would suggest is something simple. Try giving yourself a break from it for a few weeks and just pay attention to how you feel. See how your energy changes. See how your focus changes. See how your time starts to open up. You might realize that the clarity, discipline, and motivation you've been looking for weren't gone at all. They were just being numbed for a while. And sometimes the biggest upgrade you can give your life isn't adding another habit, another productivity trick, or another goal. Sometimes the biggest upgrade is simply removing the one thing that's been quietly slowing you down. And that's pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and a nice comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.